Hello, and welcome back to Ask Abby Dreyer. For the past year, I've done these videos to try to take a complex subject, mostly business related, and break them down into 2 to 3 minute explanations, and speak to how to find the best way to communicate. Meanwhile, like most people, I've been following the various #metoo stories, and I've been thinking about how to help men understand why so many of these seemingly innocent gestures are suddenly being vilified. The thing is, it's hard to break something as complex as this down into less than 2 hours, let alone 2 minutes. But I'm going to do my best, and I encourage you to find more information and keep educating yourself on this topic. It feels like more and more often, seemingly innocent compliments or welcoming hugs have been turning into #metoo drama and shame on the hapless guy who just wanted to tell a woman how good she looked that day or give a congratulatory hug for a job well done. How can a guy not be a little afraid that his minor actions will spur a complete overreaction that could suddenly have potential to ruin his life forever? Trust me, I get it. The thing to remember is, women have been dealing with this exact thing for a long time. What we wear, what we say, what we look at, the color of our nail polish, the drinks we order, the food we eat or don't eat, the books we read, the movies we watch, every aspect of our lives has been used to justify any action done to us, good, bad, or violent. Very minor things have been used to justify majorly inappropriate responses. Many of them have ruined women's lives forever. Now that men have had the opportunity to feel a little of that pressure, even if it's just by reading a #metoo story and drawing potentially uncomfortable parallels to their own experience, maybe we can take a step back and talk about what's missing from these interactions. Self-awareness and communication. Let's start with self-awareness. As a young girl, I learned what I needed to be wearing and what tone of voice I needed to use to have the best interaction with different people. Modulating my voice to be higher or lower pitched, choosing between sports analogies or geek trivia or other pop culture references based on who I was talking to. A lot of emotional labor goes into every early interaction until I know the person well enough to relax into a comfortable space where we can both comfortably talk. I know how to do this because I was taught from a young age to make people comfortable with me. Most young men and boys weren't given this same training, so it seems unfathomable to them that this sort of emotional labor exists, let alone is even possible. But it is. If you're about to start a conversation, take a moment to think about how you're going to be perceived. Not just your words, but your tone, your stance, your level of eye contact, your distance from the person you're speaking with. All of these and more come into play when a woman is deciding whether an interaction is friendly, creepy, or predatory. During the conversation, try to read her body language. Is she engaged and interested in the conversation, or is she doing the bare minimum to be polite? If it feels like the bare minimum to be polite, then it's time for the next piece that's missing: communication. Communication is more than just talking at someone and pretending to listen while you plan the next thing you're going to say. Communication is listening, speaking, and making sure that you're being understood in the way you intend. Checking in on a conversation while it's underway is something that many people do unconsciously. Make sense? Does that sound right? What do you think? If you don't regularly check in on a conversation as it's happening, you run the risk of being completely misunderstood and are on a potential Me Too path. If you're paying attention to body language and something doesn't feel right, check in. Is now a good time? Are you comfortable discussing this with me? Etc. Now, as far as the innocent hugs, I have an easy answer for this. It's called consent. Before hugging someone, say, "May I hug you? Shall we hug? Are you a hugger?" If the answer is yes, then hug. If the answer is anything other than a yes or an actual hug, don't hug. Simple. As I said, this is not an easy thing to simplify. The video barely scratches the surface of what everyone needs to do differently to avoid the continuation of Me Too in our lives. But we need to start somewhere. My hope is that by starting with self-awareness and communication, including consent, we can build from there and do better. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.